Okay, once again, hello everyone. We are at the reading cafe and we go on reading Like Water for Chocolate by Rose Petals. So today we are going to start with listening comprehension. We are going to watch a video about roses and have a little discussion about them. Why roses? Because we are going to read about one recipe with roses, yeah, in the story. That's why I decided to start with roses today, and then we're going to read kind of 5 pages, and then we'll have traditional discussion. After reading the pages, I'd like you to offer to watch just a little episode, kind of 15 minutes of the movie, illustrating the pages we are going to read. Okay, just after reading. Okay, so let's start reading. Let's start with the listening comprehension.
World's most iconic and beloved flowers, the rose. With their rich history, symbolic meanings, and breathtaking beauty, roses have captivated people for centuries. So, let's dive into the top 10 most fascinating facts about roses. Fact number 1. Roses are over 35 million years old. Roses have been around for an incredibly long time. Fossils show that roses are over 35 million years old. They survived through ice ages and changes in climate, making them one of the oldest flowers still in existence today. Fact number 2. There are over 300 species of roses. Whether you prefer climbing roses, shrub roses, or miniature varieties, there's a rose for every garden and occasion. From wild species that thrive in nature to the carefully bred varieties you find in flower shops, roses come in all shapes and sizes. Fact number 3. The world's most expensive rose took 15 years to develop. Introducing the Juliet rose, also known as the world's most expensive rose. It took 15 years and over $3 million to develop this stunning bloom. The Juliet rose was created by famed rose breeder David Austin and made its debut at the Chelsea Flower Show in 2006. Fact number 4. Roses have been used in medicine for centuries. Roses aren't just beautiful, they've been used for their medicinal properties for centuries. In ancient times, rose petals were used to treat a variety of ailments, from digestive issues to skin irritations. Even today, rosewater is commonly used in skin care for its soothing and anti-inflammatory effects. Fact number 5. The largest rose bush covers over 9,000 square feet. The world's largest rose bush is located in Tombstone, Arizona, and it covers an incredible 9,000 square feet. This massive Lady Banksia rose was planted in 1885, and now has a canopy large enough to create a shaded area the size of a house. Fact number 6. Roses are edible. That's right, you can eat them. Rose petals and rose hips, the fruit of the rose plant, can be used in everything from salads to desserts and teas. Rosewater is also a key ingredient in many Middle Eastern and South Asian dishes, adding a fragrant, floral touch to sweets like Turkish delight and baklava. Fact number 7. Roses have complex symbolism. Red roses are universally known as symbols of love and passion, but did you know that different colors of roses have different meanings? White roses represent purity and new beginnings, yellow roses symbolize friendship, and pink roses stand for admiration and gratitude. Whatever the occasion, there's a rose color to match. Fact number 8. The scent of a rose comes from tiny perfume glands. The beautiful fragrance of roses comes from tiny glands on their petals that release essential oils. Some roses, like the famous damask rose, are specifically bred for their strong fragrance, which is used to make perfumes and essential oils. Interestingly, not all roses are fragrant. Some modern hybrids have lost their scent in favor of larger blooms. Fact number 9. The rose is the national flower of several countries. The rose is the national flower of the United States, a symbol of love, beauty, and honor. It's also the national flower of several other countries, including England, Iran, and Bulgaria, where the rose is celebrated for its cultural and historical significance. Fact number 10. The world's oldest living rose bush is over 1,000 years old. The world's oldest living rose bush can be found in Hildesheim, Germany, and it's over 1,000 years old. Growing on the walls of the Hildesheim Cathedral, this remarkable rose bush has survived centuries of wars and disasters, including being bombed during World War II. Talk about resilience. From their ancient origins to their modern-day beauty, roses are truly one of the world's most captivating flowers. Whether they're growing wild in nature, being carefully cultivated in gardens, or adorning a bouquet, roses continue to inspire and amaze. Which rose fact did you find the most surprising? Let us know in the comments below.
Okay, well, as for the link, wait a second, I will share. Irena, you asked the link. Wait a second. So the link to the book. Okay.
Stamps.
Okay.
Victoria, speaking about Rose and this wonderful documentary, can I suggest you also a song? The name is The Rose. It's a really wonderful, beautiful song because there is a message in it, a message of good energy, optimism, and also a message of hope. Okay, so look for it on YouTube and listen to this song. Rose, do
Italian?
you remember the Rose?
Italian
No,
song?
no. It's in English. It's in English. It's in English. The Rose. The Rose.
Because in Russian we also have a song about roses, 1,000,000 scarlet roses, and the story is about an artist who loved an actress, and to deserve his love, he sold all his pictures and bought 1,000,000 roses and presented his actress with the roses for one night. So the song is sad, but again, roses are mentioned.
The song is not sad because it says that when you think the time is very, very dark, think about the seeds that in the very bitter winter it will become a rose. In the spring it will become a rose. So there is a message of hope and gratitude in it. So very nice. Also the music is really relaxing and very fascinating. Yeah.
And ladies, do you use roses in salads or something like that in your cultures? Because here in Russia we don't eat petals of roses.
No, in Italy, you mean? In Italy? In Italy? No, in Italy it's not so common to eat roses and also other flowers, okay? But we know in Italy that rose is commonly used in other cultures, in Asian Oriental cultures. Of course, they use the petal of roses and things like that. And also in England, because in England they use the petals of roses in the tea and in other drinks, okay? But in Italy, no, they are not so common.
I see. Yvonne. Hello, Yvonne.
Morning.
We learned from, so do you eat roses in your cuisine?
I think nowadays it's becoming trendy, and but like no everywhere. But in these gourmet restaurants, yeah, it's common, but like a top like a decoration, and then you can eat it. But it's not something like you can cook and have every day,
I
like for
see.
special occasions or in these very fancy restaurants. Yes.
Okay, okay. Let's have some listening comprehension. Just
But before you go to that kind of restaurant, Victoria, if you want to go to that kind of restaurant, even on this private house, you have to pass before to the bank, okay, in order to have some money, because the bill in this kind of restaurant is very, very expensive and high, and so it's not convenient for all of us. No.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But to be very honest, I can't imagine the smell of roses in my mouth. For me, it's enough to smell them in a bouquet. Yeah, my mother is planting and growing up roses every summer. So for me, that's enough just to watch it blooming, and it's the most. But I can't imagine just eating it like a cabbage. For me, it's kind of nonsense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why it's only like the decoration, no? It's not
Mhm.
that you can eat it like a salad, like a lettuce.
Okay,
And
okay.
in the recipe, she grinded this ingredient to give this aroma
Mhm.
and the flavor.
Mhm.
So if you would ever eat it, you will never know. Because they will not tell you, oh, and we have these petals in here. No? So
Mhm.
maybe
Maybe.
you can go to these very fancy restaurants and say, okay, surprise me. No, I want something nice. And then maybe they can tell, at the end, they will tell you, oh, the ingredients were this.
Mhm. But in fact, perhaps they put something, I don't know, some
And
more.
maybe also depends on the occasion, no? Like if you want to say something aphrodisiac, then
Mhm.
they will give it to you.
Mhm.
Not like any occasion.
Okay, okay. Mhm. Just let match the facts. I gave, so on the left there are beginnings, and we should match. Have a look, and if you know the answer, just let me know. I'll match.
Roses are edible. They are the key ingredient in many Middle Eastern and South Asian dishes.
Juliet Rose is Juliet Rose. No, no, sorry.
Rose water is used in skincare for its soothing and anti-inflammatory effects.
Oh, wait. Mhm.
Rose petals comes from no, beautiful fragrance of roses comes from tiny glands on their petals that release essential oils.
Uh, Rita, will you please repeat?
Beautiful fragrance of roses comes from tiny glands
Mhm.
from their petals that release essential oils.
Okay.
Juliet Rose is the world's most expensive rose.
Mhm.
I will make a change.
Mhm.
I will move roses to universally known as symbols of love and passion. Down, down, down.
Okay, what should I put there here? Roses?
Roses to universally. And then over
Yes.
there, rose petals are edible. They are
Yes.
the key ingredient in many Middle Eastern.
Mhm.
Rose petals. Uh-huh. Yes, thank you. There are over 300 species of roses.
The world's most expensive rose took 15 years to develop.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, that Juliet rose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Some unique flower.
The largest rose bush covers over 9,000 square feet.
I think that roses are universally known as symbols of love and passion. Because just roses, we have need of another auxiliary.
Maybe.
Roses are over universally known as symbols of love and passion.
No.
No? Okay.
No, because known are universally, we don't need over. So
Yes. Yeah.
over
Yeah.
35 million years old. Roses are over.
Over, yes.
35 million years old. This rose hips used to treat a variety of ailments.
Okay. Any objections? Any changes? No. Okay.
Oh,
So the roses is a
Okay.
little design.
Okay. They're very close. Yeah, I know. Perhaps I made it too tricky. Let's see. And correct. Okay, so rose hips are edible. Okay, and rose petals.
Really?
Okay. Yep, that is according to the video, not according to our experience, not according to our knowledge. Yeah, but according to the video, because listening is also part of our education. Okay. And now we pass over to by the way, Lukman, you are here. Do you use roses in your food cuisine? Kind of perhaps
Well, I don't.
petals? Do you eat? I mean, do you use rose petals in your Indonesian cuisine?
For the most of the people not use that one, but maybe for some restaurant, in the big city they used to for the roast.
I see. The same here for almost all here.
Yeah.
Okay, but we are going. By the way, Irena, I see the picture you've sent. Yeah, the roses are almost black, but still, some specialists say that they are very, very
Oh,
dark red.
Yeah, in
is
Turkey.
is that real?
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh,
yes. You can find it only in Turkey because the climate is the climate is suits for to plant roses, black roses there.
black with red, a little bit red, maybe.
Very, very
I
dark
can.
red.
Yeah, dark red. Yeah.
Okay, now pass over to the reading. Okay, so we're reading from the rice, which was obviously scorched. Yeah, the rice which was cooked by Rosara in attempt to win the heart of Pedro, yeah, who married her, but he didn't love her, as we know. Yeah, so he just married.
Excuse me, Victoria.
Okay, Rosalba.
Excuse me. Yes, unfortunately, I am connecting from my iPhone, and I can't connect to you very well because unfortunately my computer sadly is out of order, and I'm forced to connect with my iPhone. So it is very difficult for me. I don't know if I can read because
Okay.
I can't read very well.
So, okay. So you're just listener today, just enjoy?
If I can, I can continue, but otherwise, unfortunately, I have to abandon the meeting.
No worries, no worries. Okay.
I'm so sorry because I like meeting you and the other people, because this is one of the most interesting group. But today it is not a good day for me.
No worries, no worries. You are with us. So we hear you and listen to your lovely comments. So no worries. Just enjoy the moment. If you don't open your camera, it's no worries. I know you are here. Okay, so let's go on reading. We can't have roleplay because there are no many dialogues here. And so just let's read and if you get the words of character, just read it, okay? Okay, Rita, will you please start reading? From the rice was obviously scorched.
Yeah.
Okay.
The rice was obviously scorched, the meat dried out, the dessert burnt, but no one at the table dared display the tiniest hint of displeasure, not after Mamma Elena had pointedly remarked, "As the first meal that Rosaura is cooking it isn't bad. Don't you agree, Pedro?" Making a real effort not to insult his wife, Pedro replied, "No, for her first time, it's not too bad." Of course, that afternoon the entire family felt sick to their stomachs. That had been a tragedy, but nothing like the one that shook the ranch this time. Tita's blood and the roses from Pedro proved quite an explosive combination. Everyone was a little sad as they sat down at the table, but that's as far as it went until the quail was served. It wasn't enough he had made his wife jealous earlier, for when Pedro tasted his first mouthful, he couldn't help closing his eyes in voluptuous delight and exclaiming, "Oh, it is a dish for the gods." Mamma Elena knew that the quail was exquisite. Nonetheless, Pedro's remark did not sit well with her, and she replied, "It's too salty."
Thank you, Rita. Thank you, Rita. Thank you. Okay. Irena, will you please read a bit for us?
Yes, I will try. Rosaura saying she was feeling sick and getting nauseous. Barely took 3 bites, but something strange was happening to Gertrudis. On her, the food seemed to act as an aphrodisiac. She began to feel an intense heat pulsing through her limbs, and itch in the center of her body kept her from sitting properly in her chair. She began to sweat, imagining herself on horseback with her arms clasped around one of Pancho Villa's men, the one she had seen in the village plaza the week before, smelling of sweat and mud, of dance that brought uncertainty and danger, smelling of life and of death. She was on her way to market in Piedras Negras with Chancha, the servant, when she saw him coming down the main street, riding in front of the others, obviously the captain of the troop. Their eyes met, and what she saw in his maid her terrible. She saw all the nights he'd spent studying into the fire and longing to have a woman beside him, a woman he could kiss, a woman he could hold in his arms, a woman like her. She got out her handkerchief and tried to wipe these sinful thoughts from her mind as she wiped away the sweat. That's it.
Okay, thank you very much, Irena. Okay, Lukman, will you please read?
Welcome.
Lukman. Okay.
Okay.
But it was from here.
Okay. Okay, but it was no use. Something strange had happened to her. She turned to Tita for help, but Tita wasn't there, even though her body was sitting up quite properly in her chair. There wasn't a slightest signs of life in her eyes. It was as if a strange alchemical process had dissolved her entire being in the rose petal sauce, in the tender flesh of the quails, in the wine, in every one of the meal's aromas. That was the way she entered Pedro's body, hot, voluptuous, perfumed, total sensuous. With that meal, it seemed they had discovered a new system of communication, in which Tita was the transmitter, Pedro the receiver, and poor Gertrudis the medium, the conducting body through which the singular sexual message was passed. Pedro didn't offer any resistance. He let Tita penetrate to the farthest corners of his being, and all the while they couldn't take their eyes off each other. He said, "Thank you. I have never had anything so exquisite." Continue?
Just one last, two last
Okay,
sentences.
it truly is delicious dish. The roses give it an extremely delicate flavor.
Thank you, Lukman. Okay, we are also all excited, although we don't feel the smell of roses, but we are all captivated by the story. Okay, okay, let's go on. Yvonne, will you please read a bit for us?
Yes, of course. Thank you. After the petals are removed from the roses, they are ground with the anise in a mortar. Separately, brown the chestnuts in a pan. Remove the peels and cook them in water. Then puree them. Mince the garlic and brown slightly in butter. When it is transparent, add it to the chestnut puree, along with the honey, the ground pitaya, and the rose petals, and salt to taste. To thicken the sauce slightly, you may add 2 teaspoons of cornstarch. Last, strain through a fine sieve and add no more than 2 drops of attar of roses, since otherwise it might have too strong a flavor and smell. As soon as the seasoning has been added, remove the sauce from the heat. The quail should be immersed in this sauce for 10 minutes to infuse them with the flavor, and then removed. The smell of attar of roses is so penetrating that the mortar used to grind the petals will smell like roses for several days.
Okay, thank you very much.
Excuse me, can I continue?
Okay, Rosalba, will you please read a bit for us from here, the job of washing?
Yes, thank you. The job of washing that and all the other kitchen utensils fell to Gertrude. She washed them after each meal out on the patio, so she could throw the scraps left in the pans to the animals. Since some of the utensils were large, it was also easier to wash them in the wash basin. But the day they had the quail, she asked Tita to do the washing up for her. Gertrude was really stricken. Her whole body was dripping with sweat. Her sweat was pink, and it smelled like roses, a lovely strong smell. In desperate need of a shower, she ran to get it ready. Behind the patio, by the stable and the corn crib, Mama Elena had had a primitive shower rigged up. It was a small room made of planks nailed together, except that between one board and the next there were such big cracks that it was easy to see the person who was taking the shower. Still, it was the first shower of any kind that had ever been seen in the village. A cousin of Mama Elena's, who lived in San Antonio, Texas, has invented it. It had a 30-gallon tank that was 6 feet high. First, you fill the tank with water. Then you got a shower using gravity. It was hard work carrying buckets of water up the wooden ladder, but it was delightful afterward just to open the tap and feel the water run over your whole body in a steady stream, not doled out the way it was if you bathed using a gourds full of water. Years later, some gringos got this invention from Mama Elena's cousin for a song and made a few improvements. They made thousands of showers that used pipes, so you didn't have to do all the dam and filling. If Gertrude has only known, the poor thing climbed up and down 10 times, carrying bags of water. It was a brutal exercise which made the heat that burned her body grow more and more intense until she nearly fainted.
Thank you very much, Rosalba. Please have a rest. Now, Kazuko, please, you are just in time to read a bit for us. From here, the only thing.
Yes, thank you. The only thing that kept her going was the image of the refreshing shower ahead of her. But unfortunately, she was never able to enjoy it because
The drops?
yes, the drops that fell from the shower never made it to her body. They evaporated before they reached her. Her body was giving off so much heat that the wooden walls began to split and burst into flame. Terrified, she thought she would be burned to death, and she ran out of the little enclosure just as she was, completely naked. Thank you.
Please go on.
Yes. By then, the scent of roses given off by her body had traveled a long, long way, all the way to town where the rebel forces and the federal troops were engaged in a fierce battle.
Okay.
Fierce battle. One man stood head and shoulders above the others for his valor. It was a rebel who Gertrudis had seen in the plaza in
Piedras?
Piedras Negras the week before.
Okay, Kazuko, please have a rest. And Jade, hello, Jade. Will you please read a bit for us? Hello. From here, a pink cloud.
The pink cloud floated toward, wrapped itself around, and made him set out at a gallop toward Mamelena's run. One, for that was the soldier's deed, abandoned the field of battle, leaving an enemy soldier quite dead. Without knowing why he did so, a higher power was controlling his actions. He was moved by a powerful urge to arrive as quickly as possible at a meeting with someone unknown in some undetermined place. But it wasn't hard to find. The aroma from Gertrudi's body guided him. He got there just in time to find her racing through the field. Then he knew why he'd been found there. This woman desperately needed a man to quench the red-hot fire that was raging inside.
Okay, Jade, please have a rest and thank you. Okay. Irena, will you please read a bit?
Yes, a man equal to loving someone who needed love as much as she did. A man like him. Gertrudis stopped running when she saw him riding toward her. Naked as she was, with her loosened hair falling to her waist, luminous, glowing with energy, she might have been an angel and devil in one woman. The delicacy of her face, the perfection of her pure, virginal body, contrasted with the passion, the lust that leaped from her eyes, from her every pore. These things and sexual desire Juan had contained for so long while he was fighting in the mountains, made for a spectacular encounter. Without slowing his gallop so as not to waste a moment, he leaned over, put his arm around her waist, and lifted her onto the horse in front of him, face to face, and carried her away. The horse, which seemed to be obeying higher orders too, kept galloping as if it already knew their ultimate destination, even though one had thrown the reins aside and was passionately kissing and embracing Gertrudis. The movement of the horse combined with the movement of their bodies as they made love for the first time at a gallop and with a great deal of difficulty. That's it.
Okay, thank you very much, Irena. So, Gertrudis is really, I mean, Tita is a criminal. Yeah, she cooked some dish that moved that Juan into the crime, yeah, to leave the battlefield. But in some way, it let Gertrudis get some freedom. Okay, let's move on. Rita, will you please go on reading?
Yeah.
Okay. Wait a
From
second.
where?
Wait, we lost.
Yeah.
Did I scroll too much?
They
No,
were going.
up. They were
Up,
going
up.
so fast.
Pink cloud.
No.
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 Okay,
Up.
here. No?
No. Go up.
Up.
Go up.
No. Pipes. That's had known. The poor thing climbed down.
More.
Yes.
There, over there. The only, yes, it was there.
Okay.
The only thing that kept.
Yes.
Stop. They were going. That is the point, isn't it? They were going so fast that the escort following Juan never caught up with him. Liars tell half-truths, and she told everyone that during the battle the captain had suddenly gone crazy and deserted the army. That is the way history gets written, distorted by eyewitness accounts that don't really match the reality. Tita saw the incident from a completely different perspective than the rebel soldiers. She watched the whole thing from the patio as she was washing the dishes. She didn't miss a thing in spite of the rosy clouds of steam and the flames shooting out of the bathroom, which made it hard for her to see. Pedro, too, was lucky enough to witness the spectacle, since he was just leaving the patio on his bicycle to go for a ride. Like silent spectators to a movie, Petro and Tita began to cry, watching the stars act out the love that was denied to them. There was a moment, one brief instant, when Pedro could have changed the course of their story. Taking Tita's hand in his, he began to talk to her. Tita, but that was all. There was no time to finish. He was forced back to grim reality. He had heard Mama Elena's shout, asking what was going on out on the patio. If Pedro had asked Tita to run away with him, she wouldn't have hesitated for a moment, but he didn't. Instead, he quickly hopped onto his bicycle and furiously pedaled away. He couldn't get the image of Gertrude out of his mind. Gertrude running through the field, completely naked. He must have been hypnotized by her ample breasts swinging from side to side. He had never seen a naked woman before. During his relations with Rosaura, he had never had any desire to see her body or caress it. They always used the nuptial sheath, which revealed only the necessary parts of his wife's body. When he was done, he would leave the bedroom before she became uncovered. But it was different with Tita, and he longed to gaze at her that way without any clothes on.
Thank you very much. Rita, please have a rest. Yvonne, will you please go on reading?
Yes,
Who?
thank you.
Yvonne? Yvonne?
Yeah,
Yvonne?
he wanted to study, examine, investigate every last inch of skin on her lovely monumental body. Surely she'd look like Gertrudis. They weren't sisters for nothing. The only part of Tita's body that he knew very well, other than her face and hands, was the little round bit of leg he'd once managed to glimpse. The memory of it tortured him each night. How he longed to place his hand over that little patch of skin, and then all over her, as he had seen the man who took Gertrudis do, madly, passionately, lustfully. Tita, for her part, was trying to shout to Pedro to wait for her, to take her away with him, far away, where they'd be allowed to love each other, where there were no rules to keep them apart, where there was no mama. But not a single sound came out of her mouth. The words formed a lump in her throat and were choked one after another as they tried to escape.
Yvonne, please have a rest. And now, Lukman, will you please a bit? She
Okay.
felt. Mhm.
She felt so lost and lonely. One last child in the walnuts house left on the platter after a fancy dinner couldn't feel any worse than she did. How many times had she eaten one of those treats, standing by herself in the kitchen rather than let it thrown away? When nobody eats the last child on the plate, it is usually because none of them wants to look like a glutton. So even though they're really like to devour it, they don't have the nerve to take it. It was as if they were rejecting that stuff paper, which contains every imaginable flavor, sweet as a candied citron, juicy as a pomegranate, with the bit of paper and the subtlety of walnuts, that marvelous child in the walnut sauce. Within it lies the secret of love, but it will never betray it, and all because it wouldn't be proper.
Lukman, please have a rest. Okay, now, Kazuka, will you please read?
Yes.
Okay, damn good manners from here.
Yes, thank you. Dan good manners. Dan Karenos etiquette manual. He should be punished. His body made to fade away a bit at a time forever. Dan Pedro, so decent, so proper, so manly, so wonderful. Had Dieter known how soon she would taste physical love, she wouldn't have felt quite so hopeless. Mama Elena's second shout shook her out of her brooding and forced her to come up with an answer fast. She didn't know what to tell her mama first. If she should tell her that the far end of the patio was on fire, or that Gertrudis had run off with one of Villa's men on horseback, naked.
Okay, Kazuka, please have a rest. Rosalba.
Thank you.
Rosalba, will you
Okay.
please?
Okay. She sat on a version in which the federal troops, which Tita hated, had swooped down on the ranch, set fire to the bathroom, and kidnapped Gertrudis. Mama Elena swallowed the whole thing. She was so sad it made her sick. But what nearly killed her was when she got the story from Father Ignacio, the parish priest, and who knew how he found out about it, that the next week Gertrude was working in a brothel on the border. Mama Elena burnt Gertrude's birth certificate and all their pictures and said she didn't want to hear her name mentioned ever again. Neither the fire nor the passage of time has been able to eliminate a strong smell of roses that lingers in the spot where the shower stood, which now is a parking lot for an apartment building. Nor could they efface the images that linger in Pedro and Tita's minds, marking them forever. Ever after, quail in rose sauce became a silent reminder of this fascinating experience.
Okay, Rosalba, thank you very much. Please have a rest. Now, Jade, will you please read a bit for us? You're busy? Okay, Rita, will you please read? Okay.
Yeah. Each year, Tita prepared it in a tribute to her sister's liberation, and she always took special care in arranging the garnish. The quail are placed in a platter, the sauce is poured over them, and they are garnished with a single perfect rose in the center, and rose petals scattered around the outside. Or the quail can be served individually or on separate plates instead of a platter. That's how Tita liked to do it, because then there was no chance of the garnish sliding off center when it was served, and that's what she specified in the cookbook she started writing that night, after crocheting a big section of bedspread as she did every night. As she walked, images of Gertrude went around and around in her head. Gertrude running through the field and what she imagined had happened later, after her sister had disappeared from sight. Needless to say, her imagination was limited there. Do you mind scroll up? Please scroll up, Victoria. Yeah, thank you. Sorry, stop. Running through the field and what she imagined had happened later, after sister had disappeared from sight. Needless to say, her imagination was limited there by her lack of experience.
Rita, please have a rest. Thank you. Kazuko, will you please read a bit for us?
Yes, thank you. She wondered if Gertrudis had any clothes on now, or if she was still naked. She worried that Gertrudis was cold as she was, but then she decided, no, she wasn't. Most likely she was near a fire in the arms of her man, and that would surely warm her.
Please go on, Kaneko, a bit.
Yes, thank you. Yes. All of a sudden, she had a thought that made her run outside to look at the stars. Having felt it with her own body, she knew a look could start a fire.
Okay, Kazuko, please have a rest. Irena, please go on.
Yes. All of a sudden, she had a thought that made her run outside to look at the stars. Having felt it with her own body, she knew a look could start a fire, even to set the sun itself ablaze. What then would happen if Gertrudis looked up at a star? Surely the heat from her body, which was inflamed by love, would travel with that gaze across an infinite distance with no loss of energy until it landed on the star she was watching. Those huge stars have lasted for millions of years by taking care never to absorb any of the fiery rays lovers all over the world send up at them night after night. To avoid that, the star generates so much heat inside itself that it shatters the rays into 1,000 pieces. Any look it receives is immediately repulsed, reflected back onto the earth like a trick done with mirrors. That is the reason the stars shine so brightly at night. Tita therefore began to hope that if she could find the one star among all the stars in the sky that her sister was watching right this minute, it might reflect a little leftover heat onto her.
Thank you very
That's
much,
it.
Irena. Please have a rest.
Welcome.
Okay. And the last passage, that was her dream. But the longer she scanned the stars in the sky, one by one, the less she felt the tiniest bit of warmth. Just the opposite happened. Shivering, she went back to bed, convinced that Gertrudis was sound asleep, her eyes shut tight, and that's why the experiment hadn't worked. So, pulling up the bedspread, which by then had to be folded in thirds, she looked over the recipe she had written to see if she had forgotten anything, and added, today, while we were eating the dish, Gertrudis ran away. And that is all with reading for today. And now I would like you to watch just a little episode we've read in the movie. It will take us about, I guess, 15 minutes, not more. But I'm not going to live stream this because I don't want to be blocked as always. So I'll have to stop live streaming now. And stop recording too. Okay. So no one could resist. And in the movie, even Mama Elena was trapped by this delicious dish. Yeah, and sometimes movies hide or skip the plot, but in this case, they perhaps added, some details, because in the story we don't know, we don't read about Mama Elena's experience or something like that. But movie is a movie, and I don't know if this episode spoiled the book, or I don't know. It's up to you to decide, of course. But I guess sometimes in the book it's very difficult to catch the idea. I mean, the idea of rebel. But in the movie helped a bit as for feel even more the rebellious mood of Gertrudis, and we could see how happy Tita and Pedro were for Gertrudis that she escaped. Yeah, perhaps Gertrudis was able to have her freedom, yeah, from Mama Elena's strict rules. Yeah, but things that were impossible for Tita and Pedro, yeah. There
She
were
paid, she
kind of
paid a high
resentment
price,
about it.
Victoria.
Okay.
Gertrude paid a very high price.
Right.
The freedom was very high price, price to conquer it. But anyway, she was at last she was free. Yeah, it was a very big conqueror. Yeah.
I'm
But
just
anyway,
surprised. Okay, please go.
Victoria, I think that when you are very, very clever at cooking, too many problems. And this movie was the was the explanation. So it's much better to not to be so clever at cooking, okay? Because the consequences could be very, very tragic. Imagine if you have to prepare a quail with petal of roses, with just one drop, etc., 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 and you have a lot of guests, and so they have a very big desire at the end of the dinner. No. It's much better not to be very good.
But we could clearly see how food can influence. Yeah. So, but that is the story about, yeah, about Tita's unique way of cooking, of her, how the cooking influenced the life of all the family members and her life in the future. Yeah. So it's kind of half part of her. Yeah, that's how she sends her messages to the world and to Pedro and others. Mhm. Okay, we see that someone hide from watching. I was ready for that. Yes, I see
Yeah.
you, Lupin, smiling. Everyone felt burnt and just Kazuko also. Come back, Kazuko. Things are safe now.
I'm here.
Anyway,
It's okay.
the process of freedom, of Tita's freedom, is a bit complicated because in the Europe part of the planet, we use oysters and champagne, okay? So we need that oyster and champagne are a very big influence on love affairs. And so it's much easier for all of us buying some oyster and a bottle of champagne and not to prepare a very complicated dinner, a very complicated dish, etc. No, as Tita does. Yeah.
Mhm. So,
I
as for previous chapters, yeah, we enjoyed mostly books. I mean, the
Yeah.
story. How about this part? Did we spoil the book by watching the movie or not?
I I think this chapter is a really intense in the book. I like it because it is also rich symbolically. Because food is often connected with the memories, with the comfort, with the physical sensation and emotional association. A smell, a taste, I think can bring back memories and emotions. And I think the author, Laura Esquivel, takes this real human experience and transforming it in something much more magical. because the example of Tita is an example of someone who uses food as a language. And when she infuses her emotions, her feelings into the food, her emotions are so strong and so powerful that can affect everyone who eat her dishes. So there are different symbols. Now that we will ask the question, I think they come out.
Okay. And now we pass over to discussion section. As always, here is the list of questions. You may just take one or comment on a couple, okay? Choose, look them through, or you may just...
Victoria, I'm so sorry, but I have to go. Unfortunately, I have to go. I see you
no worries.
in a fortnight, in 4 days, okay? 14 days. Bye. Thank you so much. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Okay. So, so the questions are in the Zoom chat box. Okay, choose one or two to comment. But to be very honest, for me, I just wonder how such a freedom, love like Gertrudis was brought up in the family of Mama Elena. Gertrudis has too rebellious mood, spirit. I don't know, she just too brave for this family, to my mind. But it's okay. Yes, the price she have to pay for it is really high. Yeah. Okay. Rosalba, how about to start?
How about?
Will you please start? Have you chosen the questions? The questions.
Yeah. I have a question. I want to comment a section number 8 because it is really interesting. Why do you think Gertrude's story is important for understanding the lives of the women in the novel? As I said, this chapter deals with the power, with the control, with the gender roles, and I think that this chapter reveals roles and limitations imposed on women by family and society. In this chapter, the society shows that women are expected to be obedient, to be modest, sexual controlled, devoted to duty, and they must sacrifice their happiness, their personal happiness for duty. So all these expectations strongly affect all the sisters, but they don't respond to the oppression at the same way. For example, Tita rebels, resists, but only emotionally. And cooking for Tita becomes an act of resistance because she uses food. She uses food to communicate what society and what family forbids her being free to express her feelings, to love openly Pedro. Rosaura accepts the tradition expectation, and so it represents acceptance and obedience. But in my opinion, Rosaura belongs to that category of women that become defenders of a system. Yes, of a system that limits women, and they trap them. And then at last, Gertrudis represent rebellion, represent freedom. She rejects the rules that women must be pure, must be controlled, must be obedient. So I think there is an important symbol in this case. As the novel takes place during the Mexican Revolution, while outside there is the revolution, inside this family there is another revolution, because both Tita and Gertrudes fight their battles for freedom, for their identity. So it is a chapter that highlights that women aren't free, and Gertrudes represents the revolution in this family.
Mm-hmm. But to be very honest, I guess Rosaura feels that that way of thinking that Mama Elena transfers to her is a bit old-fashioned, and she wants to love, yeah, but she is is held by very traditional way of upbringing and thinking. But I guess Rosaura, if she had a suitable, really loving person by her side, she could make herself free inside and in the family and in sexual behavior and so on and so on. Rosaura, for me, on the border. Yes, she is controlled by Mama Elena, but she wants to be happy in all spheres in her life. Perhaps she's not that lost. That's why what I was thinking about while watching it, Rosaria. But yes, she's very much restricted. Too much. Yeah. She was brought up to be an obedient girl. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. And now, Yvonne, will you please go on?
Right. Um,
Mhm.
I have many things to say, but I don't know how to start. I think food does affect on emotions, yes. And I was just thinking about the ingredients just now, about ingredients. Um, I am not an expert in cooking, but I remember my mom was saying certain ingredients she was saying they're hot, like for the belly in this case. And I was analyzing the amount of anise that Tita was using. And I think anise warms the body as cinnamon does. And let me remember, and right now I just remember cinnamon and anise. it warms your body. So this is here in Mexico is really common that we have in during winter tea or fruit punch with cinnamon. Cinnamon is the main ingredient for our tea. And if you are cold because it's winter, you warm up your body. And it does the same with anise. So maybe the amount of anise that Tita was using made this effect. Not only the roses, but the anise, the combination, then the combination of anise and the petals did this bomb that made Gertrudis to explode. Yeah, I was thinking of. And so because Gertrudis was like the most rebel among the daughters, she was the one who was brave enough to do what she wanted. Tita was also, but she wasn't brave enough to do what she wanted. And as for Rosaura, because she was all the time attached to her mom, she learned to be the obedient one. And I think she also didn't want to disappoint her mom, like by saying, by replying in a bad mood. And Gertrudis and Tita, well, they were known for being the rebel, and they just didn't care if Mama was happy with that or no.
Okay, okay. Is that all? Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, now Lukman, your turn. Is it the hottest meeting? Okay. Any?
Wait a second. Oh, I think I would like to answer for the questions number 7, but in general, well, I was remember when my mom cooked for the family, and the family really loved her food, but she thought that maybe she didn't like it as a chef, in the kitchen. So that's why when it comes to this movie and this novel, and then when she cooked, but she didn't feel anything, the strong emotions and everything, because she might do that like almost every day. So that's why it cannot affect to the save itself. So can you imagine if you cook something and then everyone loves it, but you feel like it's not terrible, I know, but at least you feel like, okay, just like a normal food, kind of like that.
Well, to be honest, I paid attention to that kitchen appliances that Tita has. Very, very
Yeah.
primitive. I just can imagine how
Yeah.
much time does it take. So
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
it takes a really great amount of time to feed the family 3 times a day. And no fridges when you can no delivery, when you can order food, or you can keep leftovers for next time and so on. So to cook on fire when you can't control the intensity of the fire, when you have to cook quails instead of chicken, for example, I think it's a real challenge. Yvonne, please.
Yeah, sorry, I wanted to add something. Maybe Tita didn't have the same feeling at that time when they were eating,
Yeah.
because it was her who was preparing, so she was gradually feeling it. Again, I will quote my mom again. When I remember when she was cooking for a long time, the recipe of the next chapter, it's called mole, and it takes lots of time, lots, like the whole day, depending on the amount of food that you do. And when it was time to eat, she was not hungry. She was not hungry because she said that she had already satisfied her hunger with the smell.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
and then
the
it has
smell.
happened to me as well now. But to me it was nonsense when she was saying, "Oh, because I'm not hungry because I already smelled everything and now I'm full." She was saying.
Yeah.
But now that I start to cook because I just start, and yes, when I also prepare something like takes time, the cook is not hungry. I don't know what happens. I don't know if really it's the smell or something. So
Mm.
the same to Tita. She had already
Yeah, I'm not
smelled
sure.
it for a long time, and
Mm-hmm.
somehow she had been experiencing it like gradually. She didn't have this strong emotion at once as Gertrudis did,
Mm-hmm.
maybe.
In the
Yeah,
book,
yeah.
she didn't feel the same emotions, yeah. But in the movie, yes, she saw the reflection in the tray, yeah, and imagined her experience with Pedro, yeah, and Pedro feel the same, yeah. But
Yeah,
in the book,
I think it's not described in the book, so we
it's
cannot
not.
know if
Mm-hmm.
she felt it or no. It's not described. The chapter is focused on what Gertrudis experienced, but
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't say if she felt something or no. But I think she did, but gradually. So she didn't
Mm-hmm.
have this explosion.
But not that
But
great and big as Gertrudis, yeah.
Yeah,
At,
because
at
it doesn't
least
say about Mama Elena.
163.
But I think that about emotions, about the question number 7, why do you think Tita didn't feel the same strong emotions as you get through? I think that Tita's has a stronger emotion than her sister Gertrude's because when her emotions are infused in the food, they are so strong and so powerful that can affect other people. So her emotions are more powerful because they can affect the same Gertrudes. The difference
Okay.
between the two sisters is that Gertrude is naturally more passionate, more impulsive, and more open to desire for sexuality. The difference between the sisters isn't about emotions, but is about behavior, about their character.
Mm-hmm. Just, I would like to support Rosalba's opinion. Just remember the way sisters reacted to the dish. Yeah, Rosaura felt giddy instead of
Yeah.
feeling passionate and feeling like water for chocolate, yeah, she felt only giddy, upset, and something like that, yeah. So her inner spirit is very, very restricted, yeah. Despite from Gertrudis, she's free inside, yeah, and she was waiting for the moment to get the freedom to leave perhaps her home. Yeah, that's why her reaction is totally different. And Sita, she's obedient, but she's looking for some way out to um, undergo from that control. Yeah, that's why the reaction of the food on sisters were really different.
But Tita is more than the other sister, is the real victim of her mother's oppression.
Mhm.
Uh,
But at least Tita has a chance to get some freedom because she tends to get it. Apart from Rosaura, she is too depressed too depressed. Yes, Tita is a victim, but um, Rosaura is too much controlled. And I
Yeah.
also feel sympathy to Rosaura. Although she married the wrong, just think over, she married the wrong person. She is restricted by her mother. She is locked. Her sexuality is also locked. So she is just a total lock. Doesn't belong to herself. Yeah, she can't make decisions. Yeah, so I really sympathy to her. Okay.
And I'm sorry. And maybe the story would be different if Pedro wasn't that coward, because I'm sorry, he's not showing any. I don't know. He's just a coward. He's not brave enough to defend his love to Tita, and it was the worst decision he could have made. Uh, like marrying another woman, trying to be next to the other. No, and even worse, when they had the opportunity to run away, according to the book, they didn't. They didn't. They could have
Yes.
decided to run away, and Tita was waiting for Pedro to propose, but he didn't.
Mhm.
So
So perhaps he was I don't know why didn't he offer something like that? Perhaps he was afraid, perhaps he was economically dependent from the family.
mhm.
And where to run? Gertrudis joined the rebellious team, yeah, troops, and was and lived some months in the House of Love. So it's not a very thing that every woman want, yeah. But Pedro, in fact, had nothing to offer to Tita.
Well,
Uh,
according to the book, he was supported by his father, and his father agreed to have Tita
mhm,
there. So I think it was him
uh,
who was not strong enough to defend his love.
mhm, yeah. If I were Tita, I would very disappointed. I with such behavior. Once they lost the opportunity, and one more time. So we should think over. Okay,
Mhm.
thank you. And now, Kazuko, your turn. No, Kazuko.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, okay.
So I chose number 10. Why the author included this episode right after the story? So I think this episode was included to convey Pedro and Tita's aspirations. As Gertrudis actually accomplished
Mhm,
what Pedro and Tita were unable to achieve. That's it.
mhm,
Thank you.
mhm. Yes, so that's why uh, Yvonne and Kazuko said the same. Pedro was not brave enough
Mhm.
to protect his love, so he can only tell that he loves and nothing more. That's a pity, of course. That's a pity for Tita that she has chosen such a man. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, so guys, it's time to finish our class. And as for the next class, we will see each other in 2 weeks, as always, until the 6th of June. Yeah, on the 6th of June, I plan to finish the children's reading meeting. Yeah, and then in summer there will be a break, and then we'll see. But yes, so and I want to ask you to read chapter 3 and 4. No, yes, two next chapters up to page. So up to page 66. Yes, up to page 66.
66.
Yes.
From 66.
Yes. We should move forward. If we read page after page, we will read it a year. But we
Yeah.
are, as you know, I'm a bad cheater about books.
But
And I'm preparing another books for us to read. But anyway, it's one of the best books. So exciting, so impressive, so symbolic, and we have a lot of magic realism here. The next two chapters are really awesome. I would like to read them with you, but we don't have so much time. Let's discuss when we meet, I will try to make some activities for us to review the chapters you are going to read on your own, and then we will read new chapters in class as always. Okay.
I'm sorry,
Victoria.
I disturbing you, but let me send you before in advance happy birthday.
No, advance. It's not. No. It's a bad idea because here we don't send congratulations because beforehand is for people who passed away. So no,
Oh, really?
yes, no
Okay.
congratulations to Russian person before
Oh,
his
really?
no, only
Oh,
on the
really?
day or after. Before
Oh,
for those
really?
people who passed away, please.
Hey.
Yes, it's a bad luck and bad if you and it may connect it with the person who he can maybe ill or just if you don't wish good things to person. So yeah, only on the day or after, okay? Okay. So see you at our next class and can't wait. Goodbye.
Okay, thank you,
Thank
Victoria.
you.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Bye. See you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for everything.
Bye.